Welcome Vintage Hollywood Archive. On screen, John Wayne generally portrayed a masculine, rude, and chauvinist figure that was not acting. His characters almost never stayed with a woman for long enough. His rough masculinity concealed his feminine ability to estimate a woman's dress size based on their appearance. How John Wayne ended up with 21 grandchildren. Make sure to watch the video until the end, and if you are new here, don't forget to join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Vintage Hollywood Archive. John Wayne and his taste for Latin American women. John Wayne, or Duke as he preferred to be called, was an iconic American film actor known for starring in countless westerns. He is often regarded as one of cinema's greatest cowboys, and his allure still lives on 35 years after his death. Wayne, with his signature drawl and good looks, featured in almost 250 films during his 4 decades as an actor. He had 7 children after 3 marriages. Was he a good husband? Let's find out. The actor was born Marion Morrison at Winterset, Iowa on May 26, 1907, and moved to Glendale, California as a child. He was a football star at Glendale High School and received a scholarship to the University of Southern California, but walked out after 2 years. Wayne befriended director John Ford, then a rising star, after finding employment as a movie studio laborer. His first acting jobs were little parts in which he was credited as Duke Morrison, a childhood nickname derived from the name of his dearest pet dog. Wayne's first leading part was in Raoul Walsh's film The Big Trail, released in 1930. Marion Morrison was renamed John Wayne during this time because director Walsh didn't think Marion was a good name for a rugged Western hero. Despite the lead actor's new name, the film was a disaster. Wayne made scores of lousy westerns during the 1930s. In them, he played a variety of rough-and-tumble characters, including Singing Sandy, a musical cowpoke in the style of Roy Rogers. Wayne managed to have his breakthrough in 1939 when his old friend John Ford cast him as Ringo Kid in the Academy Award-winning Stagecoach. Wayne went on to play larger-than-life characters in scores of films, and he came to represent a rough, tough, straight-shooting American guy. Ford Apache, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, Rio Grande, The Quiet Man, and The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance were some of Wayne's best-known films, and all were directed by John Ford. Wayne became known off-screen for his conservative political views. Both The Alamo and Green Berets were patriotic conservative films that he produced, directed, and starred in. In 1969, he received an Academy Award for his performance in True Grit as a drunken, one-eyed federal marshal named Rooster Cogburn. Wayne's final picture, The Shootist, starred him as a famed gunman dying of cancer. Because the actor was facing sickness in real life, the role was especially meaningful. Family life was another defining element of John Wayne's existence and screen image, along with hard work and commitment to his screen career. Wayne was the father of 7 children and he was married 3 times. Wayne was the patriarch of a huge family when he died in 1979, with 7 children and 21 grandchildren. Josephine Scenes, the daughter of a Panamanian consul in Los Angeles, was his first wife. Wayne initially dated her sister Carmen, but he fell in love with Josephine instead. Given that she was a 16-year-old from a wealthy household, her parents were uninterested in John. Meanwhile, he was a 19-year-old from a low-income family. On June 24, 1933, Wayne and Josephine married and had 4 children: Michael in 1934, Tony in 1935, Patrick in 1938, and Melinda in 1940. The marriage was in turmoil after a few years. Wayne was completely devoted to his career, something his wife found difficult to understand. He was constantly surrounded by film industry colleagues and friends, which seriously damaged Josephine's interest. In addition, the couple disagreed on how their children should be raised. Josephine also found out that Wayne was having an extramarital affair with Marlene Dietrich, his co-star in the 1940 film 7 Sinners. Josephine was sad, and she tried to seek marriage counseling from a priest named Father McCoy. The wedge of mistrust between Wayne and Josephine eventually drove them apart in 1943, and they divorced a year later. While on vacation in Mexico, Wayne met his second wife, Esperanza Bauer Diaz. Wayne was soon obsessed with Esperanza, whom he dubbed Chata. For his first wife, Chata's phone calls to Wayne and Josephine's house were the final straw. As a result, she dumped his belongings on the front lawn. Chata's mother ran a casino in Mexico, but it didn't stop Wayne from falling in love with her. Wayne married her on January 17, 1946, shortly after his divorce. Their joy, however, was short-lived. His second wife was said to be envious of his devotion to work and his 4 children, especially considering the fact that the couple had no children of their own. Chadda suspected Wayne of cheating on her with Gail Russell, one of Wayne's Angel and the Badman co-stars. She was afraid he was going to do to her what he did to Josephine. As a result, when Wayne arrived home late, drunk, hourly history said he was confronted by Chadda, who pointed a gun at him and nearly shot him. To escape his marital problems, Wayne submerged himself deeper in his work. Their relationship lasted 7 years, ending in November 1953. She dragged his name through the mud in the press as rapidly as she could. He denied her claims that he was a habitual alcoholic and an abusive husband. Chadda, aged 40 years of age, locked herself in a hotel in Mexico and drank herself to death. Before Chadda's death, Wayne met his third wife, Pilar Palete, while researching a film site for The Alamo. Pilar was 22 years younger than Wayne and hailed from a wealthy background. Her father was a Peruvian politician. Pilar divorced her former husband and joined Wayne in Hollywood. The couple married on November 1, 1954, the same day Wayne's divorce was finalized. Pilar, unlike his previous wife, was interested in his work. She was an actress herself with some theater experience, but she never pursued her own career. Wayne had 3 children with her, Aisa, John Ethan, and Marissa Carmela in 1966, when he was nearly 60 years old. Their marriage started out as a happy one. When he was diagnosed with lung cancer in 1964, however, everything changed. He had to have 4 ribs and his left lung removed since the cancer was advanced. He was later proclaimed free of the Big C and went on to star in the popular western True Grit. The marriage lasted 17 years and they parted ways in November 1973, but never legally divorced. Pilar complained about Wayne's lengthy absences from home, even when he was not working. They had simply lost interest in each other. In his last years, Wayne spent more time with his personal secretary, Pat Stacey, but this relationship did not get any publicity. Has marriage ever restricted male stars from romantically being involved with their leading ladies? Absolutely not, and similarly, Wayne also had numerous affairs with his on-screen women, such as Marlene Dietrich, Gail Russell, and Maureen O'Hara. Tay Garnett, the director of Wayne and Marlene Dietrich's first film together, 7 Sinners, has defined how they met. Marlene had the choice of all her leading men. I decided not to mention Wayne to her, but she simply placed him in the Universal Commissary where she couldn't miss him. He stood between us and our tables as we walked in for lunch, chatting with a couple of actresses I had set up. Dietrich swept past him, then swiveled on her knees and looked him up and down as though he were a prime rib at Chasen's. As we sat down, she whispered right in my ear, "Daddy, buy me that." I said, "Honey, it's settled. You got him." Then at a prearranged signal, Wayne came to the table. If you didn't know what was going to happen, you'd be as blind as a pit pony. Their relationship went off like a fireworks display. They were crazy about each other. Wayne and Dietrich also starred in Pittsburgh and The Spoilers. Dietrich was Wayne's type of girl, glamorous but tough and down to earth, with a sense of humor. She accompanied him to football games and prize fights, and they fished and hunted together. Wayne liked Dietrich but was unwilling to give up his family life for her, despite his issues with his previous wife. Their relationship lasted several years on and off, during which each dated other people, before ending quietly. Later in life, when asked about women, Wayne confessed, "There were many beautiful women in my life, and Marlene Dietrich was incredibly glamorous." Maureen O'Hara was another co-star with whom John Wayne shared more than just screen time. Maureen O'Hara, a fierce and forceful Irish actress, had her longtime friend and co-star John Wayne in love with her. People wondered if they were an item in real life because of the evident chemistry on screen they radiated in various films. They both consistently denied all the rumors of their romance. However, in Wayne's memoir, John Wayne, The Life and Legend, from 2014, Scott Eyman wrote that Wayne had a 3-year affair with Marlene Dietrich, but his relationship with his friend and co-star, Maureen O'Hara, lasted even longer. He also said that the couple often met at Wayne's ranch in Arizona, as Wayne was known for being deceptive to his wives. Christopher Mitchum, who worked with both of the stars in Big Jake, wrote in his memoir, "Duke was truly lovely with that woman." According to Scott Eyman, Wayne tried to be a family man and mostly succeeded, despite his numerous affairs. To the author, One of his biggest failures on the fidelity front involved Maureen O'Hara. Many friends said the Irish actress was someone he could not control. O'Hara was strong and resilient, and maybe that's why they never got together. Michael, Wayne's son, stated that O'Hara was the only woman who could match his father and go toe-to-toe with his father. Michael Wayne is the actor's son with his first wife, Josephine. But Michael would repeatedly be misunderstood as O'Hara's son. O'Hara proclaimed that one day when she was waiting in a line to see Wayne's film, Cahill, a random woman came to her, and referring to Michael, she said that her son just went in. Besides that, many people used to misunderstand Maureen O'Hara as Wayne's wife. Yet many people joked at the chance that the two could have been a couple. One of them was Harry Carey Jr., who said that Maureen and Duke off-screen didn't have anything going on like the attraction between Duke and Gail Russell. They were good friends, that's all. Similarly, Andrew Macleod insisted that the two respected and liked each other, and that was nothing special between them. The most surprising fact was that all three of his wives were Latin American. This was the only non-American aspect of his life. "I have never been conscious of going for any particular type," Wayne said. "It's just happenstance. Whenever I had free time, I've been in Latin America." However, he once described his preference as, "Some men collect stamps. I go for Latin Americans. I never found anything wrong with American women," he told one columnist. "All I ask is that a girl be attractive and companionable. The nice thing about Latin ladies was that they wanted the simple things: marriage, family, children, a home," he told Dietrich's business manager, Boo Ruse. But he made it clear that his wives had been as much American as they have been Latin. He was candid about his need for women's company, but admitted they were a mystery to him. "I still don't understand women," he said. "I don't believe there's a man alive who does." Asked what he looked for in women, he said, "As long as they're feminine. I love them all plump, skinny, tall, or short." Correlating American with Latin American women, Wayne observed, "Unfortunately, most women dress for other women in America, whereas in Latin America, they dress more for men." He also reflected his preference for understanding the simplicity in dress, but that didn't mean scarcity of clothing. He never cared for jewelry because it's so easy to overdo and look flashy. However, the quality most desirable in a woman was being simpatica, which he defined as being on the same wavelength. Wayne claimed that he never chased women or dated them aggressively. James Grant, his favorite screenwriter, told Look magazine, "Pushy dames really scare him. Duke's really old-fashioned about women. No off-color stories in their presence, for instance." Grant also said that there are a lot of disgruntled girls around Hollywood who were sore at him for not succumbing to their charms. Grant said, when his wife is not with him, he'll stay up all night reading or arguing about movie making and politics. The public was unfamiliar that Wayne was such a domestic man, gentle and sentimental with his wives and children, never forgetting a family birthday. Hard to believe, but Wayne selected dresses for his wife. "He loves nothing more than going shopping for his family," Pillar once said. What he really liked to do when he was not working was to be with his children. He was therefore delighted when they told him that they liked to have him around. Despite being a gentleman, Wayne endured criticism not just in his personal life, but also throughout his career from those who doubted his versatility as an actor. His ability to express quiet tenderness, however, and his ability for multi-layered images of complicated characters, as in Red Rivers and The Searchers, were often unrecognized. Wayne himself was also the subject of controversy. His bold right-wing politics were appreciated by conservatives, but criticized by liberals as being naively nationalist. His politics notwithstanding, he is deemed a towering cinematic icon and, to some, the incredible Hollywood star of all time. He has been posthumously bestowed the Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In the last years of his life, he battled cancer after smoking 6 packs of cigarettes a day. After enduring years of pain, the most iconic American actor passed away in 1979 at the age of 72. John Wayne and Marlene Dietrich were very close. I think everyone can understand why. There was no one like Marlene back then. If you wanted to know more about Marlene Dietrich, watch this video and find out why she was exorcised by her own country.